Foundation 6 comes with 3 different animate stacks, and they can be used in various different ways. As we see up here, these particular images animated on page load. We also have stacks that allow you to animate on hover and also on click. Now, the on page load is also configured to work on scroll. So as we scroll down this page, you will see that these particular images, they animated in once they scrolled into view. Now, what's great about the on-scroll animations is that you can actually have these animations trigger once or have them triggered every time a particular element is scrolled into view. So configuring these is really simple. Depending on the effect that you want, it's going to depend on what stack you want to add to the page. So if you want click, you'll use the click stack. Hover, you'll use hover. And if you want to load on-page load and or on scroll, you'll use the animate scroll stack. Now, when you add these to the page, you can actually add whatever stack content you want inside of it. Okay, in this case, I'm just using images for this demo just to keep things simple. But you can really add whatever you want. Buttons, text, full-blown layouts, it's really up to you. And the settings are really simple. If we look here, we can animate in. So we have a ton of pre-made animations that we can check out here. Now, by default, we only animate once. Once it scrolls into view, the animation will stop and it won't animate again. However, if you uncheck that, we have multiple other animation options, what to do when the element scrolls out of the page, back into the page, and back out of the page on the bottom. We also have the ability to adjust the speed, delay, and the number of time an animation repeats. Now, in this particular example, you'll notice that in the 3 animate scroll stacks here, I actually changed the delay so that we get staggered animations on the page. Because a lot of times if everything animates in at the same time, it doesn't feel right. It just feels clunky. So by animating things and delaying things at different times, we get a much more fluid, interesting effect. Now, the animate hover and animate click stacks are very similar in that there is a predefined list of animations, different ones than when on scroll, because we're going to want to do different animations for when we're clicking or hovering than when we're scrolling up and down the page. We still have the animate once, and this will limit it so that if you click this one time, it will only animate it once, and if you click it again, it won't animate again. Okay? And then we have the same custom timing features that we have inside Animate Scroll. Now, Animate Hover is exactly the same, with the difference that we have 2 options for animations. We have the ability to have one animation when we hover in, and a different animation when we hover off an element. Now, if we look at this last on-scroll demonstration here on this page, you'll see that I've particularly picked specific animations so that this is really nice. So the left-hand one animates and rotates from the left. The middle one just kind of comes straight out at you. And then the animation on the right actually animates in from the right. So we get this really fluid, interesting animation. Now, one thing you'll also notice is that I've added a scroll demo class to each of these animate scroll stacks. And this is controlled by the Animate Timing swatch. The Animate Timing swatch allows us to define either duration or delays and apply that same value to multiple animation stacks. This allows us to really centralize those settings, so if we want to modify them or override them, we can do so. Now, if we'd like, in a particular animate scroll stack, you can override a swatch setting by setting something local. So in this case, the Animate Timing swatch sets the delay to 500 milliseconds. However, inside this animate scroll stack, I'm going to override that and set the delay to 250 milliseconds instead. As you see, the middle icon animates in first, and then the outside ones come just a quarter second later to give us a really nice, elegant effect. Now, in order to help you know what all these various animations are, on our animations demo on foundationstacks.com, there's an Animate Preview option here, where every single possible animation that you'd want, you can go ahead and click this, and you'll see that animation here on the Weaver Space logo. So when you just change the animation here, you'll notice that the animation immediately gets triggered on this Weaver Space logo. and you can go ahead and load a different animation and see exactly what that is. So this gives you kind of an idea of what all these animations are at a glance, and you can really play with them and see which one you want.